Biera die Kommunikationsmöglichkeit mit ihm. Warten wir ab. Warten wir ab. Jan Ullrich ist noch nicht.
Whatever he said, I did. To the word.
Ferrari was a proponent of less is more.
Because we would ask, you know, we're like, oh, I heard somebody's doing this, and I heard somebody's doing that, and should we think about that? He said, Lance, all you need is
disc brakes. Just for sure, disc brakes.
Broiler Puss, tell me the truth about Lance Armstrong. The disc brakes, he's trolling us, isn't he? Broiler. This is Broiler Puss, you're a bit of broiled chicken. Hey, come on. Tell us the truth, Broiler. Lance is trolling us, isn't he? Raise a paw if you believe he's trolling us. Trolling the audience. Shilling for BMC and Venton.
You've never used your own blood for
brakes designed for mineral oil.
So that would be banned. Okay. I'm not trying to agitate you. I'm just trying to make sure your testimony is clear.
Okay.
Okay?
Everybody wants to know what I'm on. What am I on? I'm on my
Disc brake.
bike, busting my ass 6 hours a day. What are you on?
He built this
Disc brake.
empire.
When an accusation comes up about
disc brakes
being in his career, those accusations are quickly shut down.
Armstrong is undeniably persuasive.
The question is, what technology do they use today in the sport that you wish you had when you guys were racing? From Andrew.
Disc brakes. Yeah, just for sure, disc brakes.
Why would I take that risk? I have everything I need. I have money, I have contracts, I have a family, I have my family's name. Do you think I want my son to go to high school in 2012 and somebody to say, oh, Luke Armstrong, your dad got
disc brakes?
But behind Armstrong's confident denials, teammates say they play a dangerous cat and mouse game with the
DOT fluid
testers.
Right now, on the record, for all of America, the world to hear, have you ever used performance-enhancing
disc brake pads?
Of course not.
never, not once. Cycling has been singled out.
Lance Armstrong fights back aggressively against
disc brake
accusations. But behind his public denials, teammates say Armstrong and others are engaged in an elaborate and risky system to avoid
DOT fluid
testers.
George Hincapie, Lance Armstrong's right-hand man, actually texted to warn Lance that there were testers at the hotel.
According to Hincapie, Armstrong has
DOT fluid
in his system and drops out of the race to avoid being tested.
Same for you?
Yeah, I'd say the same.
The team ran the program to ensure that they never tested
disc brakes
by getting advance notice of the
disc brake
test, dropping out of races when they knew that they were hot and would test positive.
for brakes designed for mineral oil.
Tyler tells a story about a tester comes to the door and he knows that if he gives a sample that he's going to get to test positive.
For Shimano J04C.
So he and his wife both literally hit the deck and hide and pretend no one's home and the tester leaves. But that's how simple it is to evade a test. Just pretend you're not home.
At the Tour of California was critical of Landis's allegations.
Well, it's a shame that people who get caught and confess have to pinpoint other people. Personally, I think Lance is as clean as they get. I mean, he's been tested more times than anyone, probably more times than almost everyone put together. So I believe Lance is clean. Unfortunately, Floyd's not.
If somebody's saying Ferrari, they're saying Ferrari for one reason and one reason alone, and that's to get a
centered brake pad
program. It became this open secret in cycling that everybody knew.
Is there anything about your dealings with Dr. Ferrari over the decade or so that you've known him and dealt with him that would suggest to you that perhaps he was using or encouraging other athletes to use performance-enhancing
disc brakes?
No, in fact, to the contrary.
So to hear the deal is someone said, do you know that Lance Armstrong and George Hincapie said that disc brakes is what they would want back in the day?
The question is, what technology do they use today in the sport that you wish you had when you guys were racing? From Andrew.
Disc brakes. I like it. Yeah, just for sure, disc brakes. Yeah, it's
same for you.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yeah.
And ketones.
Right.
This is strawberry. They've got also vanilla chai, which is a crazy word. Chocolate mint. World premiere. Nobody's saying. Well, clearly somebody's had it because George has been dipping into it. Bunch of bullshit. Head on over to SwissRx. There's our flow code, SwissRx.com. Clearly it's working. It's clearly helping you recover, probably help you sleep better, helping you acclimate. We got a big ride after this, so we'll see. Head on over to SwissRx.com. The buy code is...
All right, here we go. This is Lance Armstrong. He sells, so he doesn't sell. He is a sponsored rider. He's getting kickbacks from Ventum, Chinese-made carbon bike. Nice looking paint job. Disc. So Lance Armstrong, that's why he's saying disc, because that's what his sponsor sells. You can't, Di2 could mean any bike, but disc. So he's pushing the disc. There's no way in heck Lance Armstrong would ride a disc brake bike on the Tour de France. No way. This is the BMC. BMC only do, in carbon road bikes, they only do disc brake now. Correct me if I'm wrong. They only do carbon bikes, road bikes in disc. So they're heavier than ever before. The 2020 is heavier than the 2010. This is the best BMC in the market, brand new. 2020 product is the ALR. It's like the Amonda ALR. Has a threaded bottom bracket, clearance up to 28mm. This is the bike. If I had to buy a BMC, or if BMC said, Harley, we'll give you any bike you want, any road bike you want, I'll be like, thank you very much. Give me the Team Machine ALR rim brake, for sure. Back in the era. That's absolute nonsense. It's BS. And you know I'm a Lance Armstrong fan. I was calling out Lance being on the good source back in 2000, 20 years ago. And people called me a hater back then. I'm not being a hater, I'm just pointing out the obvious, you know. I've got nothing wrong with the professional athletes getting on the pharmaceutical to do their job better. They're entertainers. You know, they're entertainers. And people say, you got an issue with people on Instagram using anabolics. What's the deal? What's the difference? Doping's doping. No, it's not. If you're an entertainer, WWE, wrestling, UFC, cycling, swimming, running, basketball, rugby, NFL, NBA, NBL, you're an entertainer. I want you to take gear. I want to be entertained. I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to get busted, but I want you to do what you got to do. But in terms of Instagram, people claiming they're natural and they're smashing heaps of roids and stuff, and they're selling programs to noobs who are thinking, I'm going to look like these people if I just get the coaching. Yeah, I can do that. You're never going to. That's full-on scam. So that's where I differ, right? So you got the fake natty in the sports world. That's just entertainment. But then you got the fake natties on YouTube and social media who are selling teenage kids, ebooks and protein powder shakes and saying, this is what I use. Yeah, that's what I use, mate. So I'm so swole. I'm natural, man. I'm natural. I can get you swole, kiddo body. That's fucked, man. Shit. Anyway, nobody. I sold so many Lance Armstrong treks over the years. No one ever came into the shop. I worked in 2003 and said, I want to buy the Lance Armstrong, 5900 OCLV US Postal $10,000 dream machine, because they thought they were going to ride as fast as Lance. No one did that. They bought those bikes because they rode really good. They were 7.2 kilo out of the box. They just rode really nicely, easy to service on, BSA bottom bracket, external cable, just easy bikes to build. They could build them in like 15 minutes, literally. You could build them out of the box in 15 minutes. Good luck doing that with the latest Trek Amonda or Specialized tarmac, etc. Anyway, so let's get to the deal. Lance Armstrong's just shilling disc brakes for Ventum. That's one of his new sponsors. He's got his Twitter here. We've got a Twitter picture. And Ventum only make, correct me if I'm wrong, they only make a disc brake road bike. So, of course, Lance is not going to say Di2. Di2 is what they would be picking. How many riders in 2020 use mechanical? I wouldn't use mechanical if I was a pro rider. I do prefer mechanical as a non-pro rider because I can service it and it's gear cables and I like it. It's romantic tuning gears. But in a race situation, it just does. Di2 does feel better. It's just faster shifting. E-tap, yeah, it's alright. But Di2 Durace just bang, 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 bang. Difference between 10, 11 speed Durace, Di2, haven't noticed it. Got all the group sets. For me, it's the same. Make sure it's tuned, derailleur hangs straight. So Di2 is definitely what Lance and George would really say. But because Lance is sponsored by Disc Brake Road Company and George is also sponsored by BMC, correct me if I'm wrong, BMC only make carbon bikes road bikes in disc brakes. Now I sell disc brake bikes on my website, alright? So I'm a disc brake shill as well, but in terms of road racing, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. There's no way Lance Armstrong, the weight weenie. The reason we have super lightweight carbon bikes today is because of Lance Armstrong. The reason I'm selling lightweight carbon bikes today is because of Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong made carbon bikes popular. He made them mainstream, okay? The reason why you see disc brakes on road bikes today in the pro peloton is because of Mike Sinyard from Specialized. He is the person who did the clown move of recommending pro riders use disc brakes. So what? It's like, all I'm seeing out there in the real world is noobs buying disc brake bikes, going faster downhill than they can pay tickets for, and having massive crashes. You know, their carbon rims aren't melting anymore, but now they go even faster down the hill. Oh, I thought about my carbon rims melting, now I can go faster down the hill. You know, Johnny Barrister and Freddie Surgeon. You know, it's crazy. So they're dangerous, man. They are dangerous because you go downhill with more confidence. And then when you're going faster and you get a front wheel blowout, or you hit a rock, or you hit a kangaroo, or a moose, or a deer, you know, or a hedgehog, or a banana skin, you know, the disc brakes make you go even faster because you feel more confident, because you've got more power with two little fingers on your said carbon rims in the wet. So then, you know, you lock it up, skid, smash, bang, crack, popple, snap, crackle, pop, Pinarello, done. So I'm not a fan of disc brakes on the road. I think they're fantastic for gravel riding, for the mud, for the dirt, for e-bikes. They're really good. Get a lot of weight there, but otherwise I don't rate disc brakes, man. Especially for road racing. For gravel, yeah. For road racing, look at all the crashes that are happening in Tour de France because of the disc brakes. Alaphilippe's front wheel locks up, boom, crash in the wet. Lopez, back wheel locks up in the soap, crash, bam. You know, a wheel change. Who had a dodgy wheel change the other day? You know, like it's another dodgy wheel change. It's insane. It's insane. Disc brakes in Tour de France is rubbish. Lance Armstrong is talking rubbish. George Hincapie is just following Lance Armstrong's line because Lance is the alpha here. And that's fair enough, you know. That's fair enough. I'm just saying that Lance Armstrong's selling a protein shake that costs $71 or whatever it is, Swiss RX. I mean, it's just, you know, it's marketing, people. It's money, and I get it. But I'm surprised that Lance Armstrong, being the multi-millionaire he is shilling some protein powder to fat barrister mammal cyclists on his podcast. And anyway, that's Lance's his choice. But I don't know. It doesn't feel, you know, it's not the Lance that I rate. You know, I think Lance's story is good. I think that he is a fantastic model to study in the psychology of society and sports and heroes and the pressures of sports and just the whole how people react when you tell them the truth and things like that. I think it's just all fascinating, and I would love Lance to talk about, you know, doping regimes and just fucking drop the bomb on sports, swimming and running. Just talk about it, you know. Lance would have so many wicked stories to tell, you know, but he can't do it because, you know, it's part of their merch still, and that's fine. But yeah, all those people who ratted on Lance, who did Lance rat on? Zero. So I get it. I get his style. But I'm just, you know, he doesn't have to rat on anyone, but he can just tell some stories. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's the deal there. You know, it's disc brakes. Lance Armstrong is, yeah, he's the weight weenie. He's the person who made lightweight bikes popular. Think of it, in the 2003 Tour de France, Lance Armstrong didn't ride the Madone in the hill stages because it was like a 50 grams or 100 grams heavier. You imagine if you were one of Lance Armstrong's teammates in 2003 when it was cutthroat tour with Yan, you know, and someone's like, "Hey, Lance, I want to ride disc brakes today. I want to put some XTR brakes on my Treco CLV 5900." Well, what would Lance say? "You need disc brakes? You want disc brakes? You want to ride my team? Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here!" You know, that's what Lance would have said. So the fact that Lance, you know, this is just, you have to be a little bit basic or noob, which is fine because we're all noobs at some point, to put merit into what Lance is saying today, in saying he wouldn't choose Di2 over mechanical. He's like, you know what? I would make my bike heavier in 2020 than it was in 2003. Lance would use lightweight wheels. You know, he would buy wheels from Lou and whoever, you know, to have a lighter wheel. Break contract from Bontrager to ride Mavic wheels that were lighter and more reliable. There's no way. Can you imagine Lance Armstrong standing there on the side of the road in the rain with his front wheel locked up disc brake locked up like Al Flip the other day. Can you imagine Lance Armstrong doing that? And being cool with that? You know? He'd put out a lighter. He'd get a lighter from some French and set the wheel on fire. Yeah, he would not be appropriate there at all. But, there's a cat over here. Broiler puss, tell me the truth about Lance Armstrong. The disc brakes, he's trolling us, isn't he? Broiler. This is Broiler Puss, she was a bit of boiled chicken. Hey, come on. Tell us the truth, Broiler. Lance is trolling us, isn't he? Raise a paw if you believe he's trolling us. Trolling the audience. Shilling for BMC and Ventum. Made in China. Nothing wrong with that. But that's the deal there. Lance Armstrong talking nonsense. This is the first time that Lance Armstrong... But he said a few things, hasn't he? He said something about carbs the other day, and I know he's just trolling. Anyway, that's the deal. Fan of Lance. Not fan of the Shilling. The Shilling of discs. The Shilling of protein powder. It's not what Lance is famous for. Stick with what you're famous for, Lance. Inspiring. Telling good stories. And getting it done. Peace.
Rubiera die Kommunikationsmöglichkeit mit ihm. Warten wir ab. Warten wir ab. Jan Ullrich ist noch nicht besiegt. Geschlagen wird er heute sowieso nicht im Kampf um das gelbe Trikot. Höchstens besiegt im Kampf um den Etappensieg nach Alp d'Huez. Aber so